Hi, Leo. It's Angela. We are here to do your September reading for Leo, Sun, Moon, Rising. And like I always say, if you're drawn to this energy of this reading, the message may very well be for you as well. We are, recording this at a certain time, and I'm drawing in the energy of Leo at this time. And because it's a general reading, it's going to hit on most, but it doesn't always resonate every time. So if it doesn't, check your moon and rising, or put a pin in this and come back to it later when the message feels like it's more appealing to you. Okay, this oracle that we're going to pull for this reading is coming from this deck, Messages from the Light. Whoops. And the card I pulled for you, Leo, Integrity. This is, I love this because the way that this imagery lights up the heart with that lotus flower. The Leo is ruled by the heart, and it's a very important aspect of us to make sure our heart remains open and generous and loving toward ourselves and toward others. And in this image, the integrity is saying that in order to move through the world with our integrity intact, we must make sure the alignment's there, the inner alignment. And specifically in this image, the head bows to the heart and the heart buoys the head. They work in tandem. So I love that. So this is just giving you an opportunity to look at how your inner alignment or lack of it affects you as you're engaging and interacting with others out in the world. One thing that comes to mind is, practice some attunement, practice some alignment work with maybe, chakra meditations or your own visualization, however that may come about for you. But, maybe even in the morning before you go out into your day, to check in with yourself and make sure, is my head clear, or as clear as it's going to be? Because I know it gets busy up there. Is my head clear or straight? Do I know what my intentions are? And then are they supported by my heart space? Are they supported? Do they work in tandem? Okay, let's get to the Zen reading. All right, so we have here your starting point, Leo, is this center card. And look what I got first off the bat: politics. The masks we wear, right? And this is definitely you. I'm not saying you wear masks and you're phony, but this message is for you to make sure that your alignment and your integrity are always on board, and that we don't sort of speak out of both sides of our mouth, or make sure the words that we use are aligned with our feelings and our thoughts. Make sure we're expressing ourselves clearly. There may be some instances where you might feel you want to shield yourself from others and not show the fullness of your being, and that's fine too. Some of that is shades of that show up in this card, as far as sort of those self-protective masks that we can wear. But as it pertains to your integrity and the full alignment of all the parts of your inner being, anything that's out of alignment will sort of show up as being shielded, or not in congruence with your message, with what you want to say. So it's just making sure that your full authenticity is on display as much as possible, as you move about your days. Internally, this vibration that supports this masking vibe is going with the flow. So yeah, go with your inner impulses and your inner, nudges. that inner being of you, having full alignment will make you feel like you're flowing more. You will feel, you're moving in a natural way instead of sort of the way others expect of you, right? And because this is an internal energy, sometimes the connection to that flow is just for you to know. And it does not really have to show up. You don't have to discuss it. You don't have to connect with others. You don't have to say, I'm doing this, because you just move with the natural energy as it presents itself. And, sometimes even keeping that within will help you better get to that full alignment more quickly, right? If you just focus on all the feelings of, we all get nudged in different directions all throughout our days and all throughout time. And just making sure that it's aligned with how you feel and it feels okay to go in that way. Mostly, right? It's not going to be perfect 100%, but that will help avoid some of the masking that might go on. Okay, so now the external card that sort of these combined energies of caution of the masks you wear and move with the flow. And in your external world, we got patience. So this is also reminding you, as we're seeking our alignment and making sure that we're moving through the world with our integrity, be kind to yourself if you slip. Be kind to yourself and have patience with yourself if your mask appears in certain situations. There is no one right way to be, right? The closest we can come is to follow that internal natural flow. And that is what's right for you, right? It may not fit or match, other people, but for you, that's the closest we can come to being fully right about this. But also be sure that you, be gentle with yourself. If it's not always, if maybe you come upon a little situation, and I'm going to keep it really light, like I always do, because I don't like to get too heavy. There's a lot of heavy stuff going on out there. And if this resonates with you and it is heavy for you, let me know that, and then we can start a discussion there in the comments or in private. But I'll make up a story. So let's just say you set the intention. I want to move through with my integrity intact. It's great. And you get to, I don't know, a meeting at work with people who not necessarily are all the people that you would normally associate with, right? Because it's just work acquaintances. And let's say, you just tell a little white lie in the middle of it. Like someone says, oh, I don't know, I love sushi or something. And then you say, oh, I love it too. I love sushi. And you don't really even like sushi. This is what I mean by then not beating yourself up. Like, you put on the mask for a minute there, right? I love sushi, but it's okay. That's okay. You revert, as long as you return back to your natural flow, back to the alignment and pace at which your soul wants to move, then your integrity comes right back online. This is not, we're not seeking perfection in any moment, right? We're seeking, always striving, the energy of always striving for, for this full alignment of your integrity. Okay, let me get down here. So yeah, be kind to yourself, be patient, allow things to occur and unfold in their own time. And if sometimes that mask has to get slipped back on, even though maybe your intention has been, I will always be forthright, I will always be only myself, there are situations where we just sort of need to protect that, and that's okay. And that's kind of what these starting cards are guiding you toward. So now we move to this card, which is the key to moving forward. And this is an energy that we want to master before proceeding with our higher self. And I got for you the Lovers. And the first thing that I get for this is, look, the heart energy, the integrity of heart aligned with the mind, and also sort of a swelling of that heart chakra, more heart energy geared, aimed toward yourself. So basically like self-compassion, self-love is very important to master as you're, seeking your full alignment and making sure that you're showing up as you wish to be understood and seen. A big part of that is the self-confidence, self-love, self-awareness that must come, self-compassion that must come, that naturally comes as we're on our spiritual path and, expanding to a more evolved state. That is a key. This could be any spread, any reading. And if we want to move forward and get to a more evolved state, this card could just permanently be in this position because that self-compassion and the love that flows from your heart towards yourself is key to really sort of defining your higher spiritual self or discovering your higher spiritual self. Yeah. So there's that key, self-love and awareness of being authentic as well. Okay, now we get to, that was our key to moving forward. And now we get to understand this from a higher perspective. And well, what do we have? We have integration. So as it pertains to your integrity, make sure you're fully integrated, which was the message in the first place, right? This is being super tuned in to all of your parts, all of your pieces, the inner facets of you, your persona and how you show up in the outside world, your past beliefs and your present beliefs and what you see shifting in the future, the way you interact with others, the way you kind of like to just be alone sometimes, the way, and both of those can be, I can be a social introvert, right? If I want, if that's what I am. So just all of the facets of who you are inside and out, make sure they're all included. That's what integrity is, right? Is integrating all the pieces. And, the guidance for this card in particular, it really is talking about your inner being and all the pieces of your inner being. What I'm getting for this with the evolved position that it's in is that it also can, you can also consider your persona and the being that's presented to the world as well, and make sure it's all aligned. But I like that this came out first, because once, once you get the inner parts of your being aligned, that's the gold, right? That's what you can take, and you can create anything from it, and you can show up as that with full confidence and with full certainty, of who you are and what drives you, and what you resist and what you don't love in your experience in your outside world. So I like this. I like that these both just showed up in this reading, as far as, letting it all merge together, all of it. Okay, let's go back down. And then with this integration card, this inner energy, this is sort of an internal vibration that supports this vibration of integration, is celebration. So there may be, a part of you within that's getting, you know what? If I just make sure, like maybe you're practicing it, like perhaps to a point you were someone that was more of a chameleon or a pleaser, and you just fit in with wherever the need was, or complied with certain expectations or standards, like within a family unit or at work or whatever, just because you felt that was what you needed to do. But maybe you were not always in your integrity in those situations. Maybe you weren't always honoring your own flow, right? And now that we've gone through some of these energies and moved to this elevated level within you, you're getting it. You're like, oh yeah, I'm doing this is the way to be for me. This is it. Going with this card came above the going with the flow. So just that inner knowing that I'm going to go where my nudges guide me and everything's going to be fine from there. You may come to a point, or you may already be at a point where you realize that really works for me. And I can't imagine anything else working better, right? And so you get to sort of relish in that accomplishment of being able to, align who you truly are within and let it show up into the world. Then you'll really be in the flow, right? And then your final card and the sort of insight into the whole thing, I love it. It's not ending with a bang. It's ending with a very comfortable level of presence I got experiencing. So this is kind of the vibration that in all of my moments, as I focus on my integrity, as I focus on my inner alignment, I can, and I love how this came above the patience card as well. In all of my moments, I can fully embody all of my experiences because I'm approaching it from a whole self perspective, from a fully aligned space. And because I took the time to find my alignment and go with that flow and sort of, wear masks much less often, because I took that time to create that path for myself, now I can really enjoy life on a much deeper level. The simplest things, right? This figure is with a tree, and not just with it, she's experiencing the tree. The tree is holding her. It's got a branch, enveloped around her. She's very content, feeling it, probably smelling it, hearing the crunch of the leaves and all that. And I feel that with you, Leo, this full alignment of self from the inside out is your key to, a more easygoing, flowing, deeply appreciative life experience. I can relate to this in ways, as you know, having started Grounded Dreamers and going in a certain direction, which follows my heart. It's taken some adjustments because, the stuff that I do for work to keep us, alive and keep the income coming in. I never saw it as that I was fully aligned with it. And now that I'm doing this work more, I find that the integration is, it's almost natural. It's almost like, oh, okay, this makes sense. I have an appreciation now for those things that I used to look at as drudgery or tedious. I have an appreciation for it now because it is part of my entire package, of my entire, persona and my whole being. So I can really appreciate, I can really relate to this reading. I'm hoping for some of you that you've aligned with it as well. And, if you want to share, a little bit of how this resonated for you, go ahead and put it in the comments. And, yeah, the head bows to the heart and the heart buoys the head. It's like, letting them work in conjunction with one another. I love it very much. It's awesome. All right, Leo, that was it for now. I'll see you soon for some September mid-month updates, hopefully. And until then.